No, that's it's a
Perfect. Look at that. Seamless. He's a professional now.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. That's great.
It should be okay.
So,
Always
this is already. This is on.
We're recording now?
We are recording now. We are live. We're ready to rock. You have no guess, just so you know. This other stuff, and Mr. Claudel should be, he's a contributor, so we should obviously
Literally
we could share his screen, we see the video, the audio. Can we just test your audio, Mr. Claudel, just to make sure it works on this meeting as well?
Yep. Can you hear the bugle calls in the background?
Wonderful. That's great.
Hartford.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
That must mean it's 6 o'clock then, right, Ed?
Yeah.
Air Force.
Yep. Retreat.
All right, I'm calling the meeting to order. Please join me if we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, opening public comment, 6:01. Mr. Parsons, do we have any electronic?
No, sir.
Do we have any public who would like to speak? Okay, we're gonna leave that open and move on through the agenda. We have minutes of June 10th, 2025, regular school board meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of recommendations for changes. I'd like to break these into 3, accepting these minutes separately.
Yeah, that's what you mean, the 10th, the 24th, and the 23rd?
July 3rd. Yes, correct.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was taking them one at a time, Ed.
Yep.
So first up,
So move.
is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comment on the June 10th minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
And Mr. Garrett, you abstaining?
I abstain.
Okay.
Next up are the June 24th meeting minutes.
Got a couple of notes that I'd like to, couple of amendments that I'd like to propose, and then a second motion after that. So, pending recognition by the chair.
Can someone move them and second them, and then we'll get into the edits or additions?
Yeah.
So you're moving them, Doug?
I'm sorry, can you tell me what paper I'm
Yeah,
for
I'm
these
trying to
minutes?
find 50.
50, thank you. I move to accept the minutes as presented of the June 24th, 2025 meeting.
June 10th. Oh, I'm sorry, we did the
Yeah.
24th, yes.
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, now, Mr. Claudel, go ahead.
So I've got 3 proposed amendments to the 24th minutes. Specifically, I'd like to amend Mr. Billings' comments to insulted the grandparents club by telling them to, quote, grow a pair. I'm open to moving that backwards a little bit, but that is the proximate cause of why we have a new member with us tonight. Second, I'd like to move or amend Mr. Billings directed to Mr. Billings encouraged, given that neither Mr. Billings nor this board has directive authority over the grandparents club. And finally, I'd like to add Mr. Dwaddell withdrew his desire after Ms. Dobbs' individual discussion of the HVAC.
All right, can you go back to the first one, Ed?
I think we should take those one at a time
Right.
as specific amendments to the moved meeting minutes.
Acknowledge.
Can
So,
you do them one at a time, Ed?
yeah, so
Yeah.
go back to the beginning.
My
Page
first
55.
amendment is to amend the comments. Mr. Billing insulted the grandparents club. I'm willing to stop there. We don't need to go into the specific insult.
Where is that? What page, what paragraph, what are we looking at?
I don't have the notes in front of me. I went through them on the computer earlier today.
So instead of shared,
No, prior to that. It was the discussion over, it was in A, new business.
Yeah, it's all part of the, there would have been,
instead of shared,
Who shared?
the line that says, Mr. Billings shared that another fundraising effort in Meredith took 7 years. Mr. Billings directed the Grandparents Club to continue.
That's the
provide-
paragraph I'm talking about. Mr. Billings shared? Sure, no problem. Mr. Billings also insulted the Grandparents Club member and a member of public.
So your motion to amend basically is add a sentence that Mr. Billings insulted the grandparents.
Correct.
You give your language specifically so that I may respond to it by voting for it or against it.
Specifically, amend the minutes to add a sentence either prior to or after Mr. Billings shared that a prior fundraising effort had taken 7 years to include a sentence indicating that Mr. Billings insulted the Grandparents Club.
Okay, that's Ed's motion. Is there a second?
I note that we are all being recorded here.
Right. Well, we don't have a second, Ed.
Noted. Amendment 2. I recommend that we change Mr. Billings directed the Grandparents Club to Mr. Billings encouraged the Grandparents Club, given that neither Mr. Billings nor this board has the authority to direct the Grandparents Club to do anything.
Oh, okay. I understand now. So that's Ed's motion. I'll second it.
I'll second it. Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, any other questions on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the directed is now encouraged. And your third item, Ed.
Moving down to resolution of the governing board, I believe it was the first one. There was a sentence in there, Mr. Twaddell expressed interest, words to that effect, of removing the HVAC from the.
I think I know what you're talking about. Mr. Twaddell indicated wanting to remove HVAC from the project.
Yep.
Mrs. Dahl shared that HVAC was included in the approved warrant article.
Specific amendment, include another sentence after that. Mr. Twaddell removed or repealed his interest, however you choose to put it.
Okay.
Are you changing your vote? What was recorded as your vote? From
My
6
vote
to-
was recorded as 6-0, so
I mean, are you indicating in this amendment that you did not vote in that way?
No, he's saying
No.
he voted. What he's saying, he just wants to clarify that once he learned from Ashley that it was included in the warrant, that he understood that, oh, okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for both of you for clarifying what you're saying. Yeah.
Am I on fire there, Ed?
that is correct.
Okay, so we'll add, the motion then would be to add a sentence after the end of the first complete sentence saying, Mr. Twaddell rescinded his inclination to remove the HVAC project.
That is correct.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
You got that, Ashley?
Yes, thank you.
And finally, I would like to make a motion in this board. Okay, we'll vote.
Yeah, I'd second that.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so then we have that amendment, that sentence.
And finally, I'd like to make a motion that this board issue an apology to the member of public who is present and was insulted, although that is not included, there was no motion to bring that to a vote.
Well, but that I think is a separate item, Ed. These are the minutes from the meeting.
Very good.
We take that up after we get through the minutes?
Very good.
All right, so now we're going to vote on the amended minutes from June 24th with the change of encouraged and the sentence added in about clarifying again. We all good? Yep. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved as amended. So then we have the July 23rd minutes. Would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
Great. Are there any comments or questions on the July 23rd minutes?
I'd like to note that the amendment, or I'd like to note an amendment. I apologize for stepping on Duncan because I think he was going to speak. But Charlie, your explanation of the appointment and how it would work occurred after the vote was complete. And as I recall, you had said, hey, we're going to talk about that before we vote. We voted. And I said, hey, how is this going to work? You said, yep, that's right. I was going to talk about that. And then you explained it. No issues to the vote, but just for clarity, that occurred after the vote.
And so where is that?
Page 57, part 6.
Oh,
So can we just add in a sentence after the vote was taken?
Sure. Yeah. No issues.
I moved that amendment.
Okay, I'll second it. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye
Oh, there's a spelling error.
on the amendment. We'll come back to it, Siobhan. So that carries. So now we'd be voting on the amended July.
Spelling it.
My name only has one N at the bottom of 57 there. Just jumped out at me.
Thank you.
All right, we're voting on the amended minutes for the sentence and Siobhan's name spelled correctly. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good.
Again, I abstain.
Okay,
Your ears to change.
so Ed will take up that other item in other business at the end.
Very good.
Current bills payable, general operating expenses. Mrs. Dolly.
Thank you. In your packet, you have manifest 3003. It starts on page 60, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mrs. Dolly?
Ashley, the only question I have is line item 114340 for $591,608.51. The boiler room repair and replace. Is that tied to the is that tied to the loan in some way, shape, or form, or is there something else going on there?
Correct. That is the boiler HVAC project.
So it's tied to the.
That is tied to the, that is the vendor.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see, do I have a motion or motion to approve the expenses?
Motion made.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Guerin, his first action of the board member. Well done, Dave. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up, enrollment report.
So you have the enrollment as of this period of time in August. Anticipate that certainly as we get closer to the start of the school year, we typically do have some fluctuation. We are at 903 from pre-K to our 22-year-olds. We did end last year at 920. Our preschool number is low, so there is some opening for families in our preschool.
Anything else? Any other questions from Mary on enrollment?
Mary, I don't know why it has taken me so long to ask this question, but what is the difference between, on the right-hand side of the page, between K through 12 and pre-PG, which I assume is pre-postgraduate? If you are pre-postgraduate, are you not in K through 12?
Preschool.
Because there's the preschool, so those are 3 and 4-year-olds, so they're not in kindergarten yet. And then we also have students who have, they are with us through age 22, so they've reached their senior year and completed that part of their education, but because of their special education needs, they are with us through 22. So that is letting you know that there are 4 students in that arena.
But specifically, that category is pre-K 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and PG.
Correct.
It is pre through PG.
Correct.
It's not the cohort before PG, which is high school.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Anything else? Moving on to staffing update.
So you have our current staffing update. We are certainly still in need of paraeducators. So please help put the word out. We are advertising, but it is still a slow people really, to be paraeducators. Since COVID, you've heard me say that just we haven't really recovered in that area. It's not unique to us. Certainly, the community, the board has supported a very lucrative contract and health benefits. And it's a job with a lot of benefits from a salary standpoint and a health standpoint, but we have struggled to fill those positions. I do believe, I think we have filled 2 more since we ran this report for the middle high, but then we learned that based on some student changes in our population in terms of people moving in, we need 2 more. So we kind of thought we were making progress, and then based on needs, fell back down. So help spread the word, please.
Great.
Since this was supposed to be non-public.
I think we will, and I'm going to ask if anybody wants to go. So next item is the nomination, which Duncan was just asking me about. We have the information. This is for the gym teacher in Sandwich, which is a part-time position. Does anybody want to go into discuss that in non-public, or are we comfortable with the information that was presented to us to make the nomination?
I'm comfortable voting.
So you're making a motion?
Yes, I move to accept this nomination as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Siobhan. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. School district opening highlights.
So the administrative team is working this week on preparing to open school. We will be welcoming our new educators, some paraeducators and teachers on the 25th for New Educator Day. So that's an opportunity. It's an orientation day. Mentors who every new paraeducator, every new teacher are assigned a mentor from our experienced staff. And they will be meeting with them as part of that orientation day, beginning that relationship, which goes on all year. We will be opening the district on Tuesday, and we will be focusing on framing our focus areas for the year. Community and family engagement is certainly one of the priorities that we certainly took away from our spring listening sessions with families. In addition, we will be working on rolling out Parent Square, which is our new communication opportunity to across community families. So we were working on that over the last 2 days on framing that for families, framing it for staff, and using it as an opportunity to create some new communication of sharing what's happening in the classroom and trying to really make that strong connection. In addition, as part of the opening, we'll be training all staff on the new Parental Bill of Rights. We school district attorney about a week ago, on the parental bill of rights, which is new and you have this evening to consider for adoption. And so we will be doing that with all of our staff as well. And then there's a number of building work that will be going on, focusing on some writing training at ILES, some behavior training or in conversations, as well as the middle high working on continuation of the NESC and some of the goals they're working on from that. So lots going on within the next couple of weeks. We do have next week is also called competency camp. We have significant training that we do for staff, and we have a high degree of engagement. So it'll be a busy time from now until really just after Labor Day.
Great. Thank you, Mary. Federal funds update.
So just an update that we did receive, or we will be told we will receive allocations for Title II and for Title IV. We are still waiting on finalization of what our special education, which is called IDEA funds, will be. Some people have indicated that that may not be at the full funding level that we were anticipating. I have not heard anything officially, but I think it's just an awareness that, federal funds, what may be there this year may not be a guarantee next year. And so it may be something that we need to be thinking about during the budget process.
Good. Thank you. Strategic planning update.
So you have in your materials. So thank you to our school board members who are on the strategic plan writing committee. So we have Mr. Twadell, we have Ms. Connolly, and we have Mrs. Starmer, as well as we have parents and we have a student. We also have some educators as well and community members. So we have been working over 4 weeks, and you have a draft of an updated mission, vision, purpose, and moving from core values to foundational principles, all built around a culture of excellence. And I'm trying to find my page.
65 and 66.
All right. Thank you. So this is a working draft. The committee will be meeting again middle of September. So certainly if there are board members that have some thoughts or ideas, please reach out to me or reach out to one of your fellow board members who are on the writing committee. Our hope is to further refine that on the 16th and hopefully bring closure to this part of the work. We do have a continued goal of bringing something to the board's consideration December 2025.
Great.
Also included here, and I think it's important, I have shared it previously with the board, but just to publicly share, we do have the summary of the engagement that took place in the spring that is on our website. As we get closer to the beginning of the year, we'll be reaching out to families with some opening communication, and I'll make sure that gets communicated there too.
Great. Anything else? Okay, legislative meeting update. I just wanted to keep this in front of us. Ed, you and I talked about, we had our effort last spring, and that was just, we shouldn't have even tried then. What I'm thinking is this fall, September, October, before things really get swinging, and set a day, and then we can reach out when Nancy reached out to local legislators, see if we can get a little buy-in. And so we need to finalize a date and throw it out there to them, which probably sometime in the first week of October, I think would be as good as it's going to get. Update on boiler HVAC project. Mr. Swanker.
Have you been here the whole time?
Staying low though.
Not non-public.
Okay, update. We did some preliminary work, kind of an idea design and just the warrant article itself and getting things approved and getting the loan signed and all those items building up to what really is a July 1st fiscal year change when you can start the work. And July 1st is traditionally a family near holiday weekend, and it's always tough to get a lot of contractors together. So really the start date becomes July 7th. And we hit it hard, running quick. We've demoed both boiler rooms out. We demoed classroom ceilings and old units that, were in disrepair that are getting replaced by the new work. Really open things up so you can start to see all those gray areas of where trouble hits and the crash points and such that we have to work through. We've worked through those. Boilers are in hand. Rooftop units are in hand. They're actually in the building at the elementary school. Tomorrow, we'll be rigging the boilers into the high school. The 25th of August, we'll crane the rooftop units up on the roof. Everything in between there is miles of piping and ductwork and, labor force things happening in the building that are currently happening now. And we're 5 weeks into the project, and we have 2 weeks before school starts. So our goal is to get closed up inside the building, usable spaces, get us out of sight, out of mind, and in the rooms where the project will continue on, but we should be fine to get rooms back together and get out of areas that we haven't been able to clean and such like that. But we'll be in the boiler rooms. We'll still be on the roof a little bit with some items, but we're in a good spot. And this week hits a turning point. Concrete, first trucks of concrete are coming tomorrow to put back finishes. So we're really pushing. The propane tank farm that we're converting to at the elementary is also being dug starting tomorrow, and tanks arrived today. So those are in hand. Really all good news on material front. No price impacts from materials to date. I've had a few changes to make things work. Each change has always been a more energy upgrade type of thing. Just a quick example, the elementary school had multiple 7+ pumps for small little zones, I think from early on, original building and things added, and just like isolated heat loops that had their own large direct drive motor pumps. And we really needed that real estate to make the boiler room work. And so we consolidated, demoed those, and will consolidate to an energy efficient VFD drive pump for the whole building. And with that partnership, we early on had applied with the co-op and New Hampshire Saves. And the pump changes, they're going to rebate us back $7,000. And for converting from the oil burning boilers to propane boilers, they're giving us $30,000 per building. So that's a total of $67,000.
Great.
That's kind of where we stand. Things are getting put back together. We're going to be on a temporary hot water system to get school started, because we can't do startup to have the real system running, but we have provisions for both locations to just get hot water. We're going to push for true startup before heating season really kicks in and hits us. But I would say the project will continue on into the end of October and possibly into a little bit of November. But I'd foresee us getting the heat on. I don't see it being an issue, but we will have items going, and startup will be late in the fall and so on. So I think that covers everything with the boiler project, including those rooftop units that were the HVAC upgrades at the high school. Yeah, the current bill for that contractor in there is a little under 50% of their contract, which is in line with work completed to date. So that's why that cost is around that $600 million.
All right.
I understand you have a reputation of like magically doing these very massive projects and buttoning them up beautifully. That's very exciting. You're doing it again.
It gets scary, but this week it really, a lot of things came together finally because they could. I was ready for concrete 2 weeks ago, but we use a Phoenix precast concrete company, does our safety bollards and lighting bollards, and their plant broke down for over a week, and I couldn't do any underground work. We were sitting ready. So now we're pushed again, but because we have them, they gave me a rush order, 50% of my order, but enough to keep us moving. So good. Yeah, every day is a change, a challenge like that. Something, contractors.
Any other questions for Brian on the HVAC boiler project? Hearing none. Next up, we have some donations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Light It Up Lakers campaign donations. We have a donation from Robert and Susan Adam in the amount of $500. Joseph and Nancy Hart in the amount of $15. Taylor Community in the amount of $2,000. And Camden National Bank, which is the former Northway Bank, in the amount of $10,000.
Gratitude.
Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up, we have a donation from Heart and Hands Thrift Shop in the amount of $1,000 to reduce financial burden on families who do not meet criteria for free and reduced lunch and struggle to pay for school meals. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. With gratitude. Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
Is that going toward like the deficit that already exists, or is this like money that is going to be ready for the next upcoming school year?
So we are going to put it in a restricted donation fund, and then we will decide, working with the schools, who some of those students who already have negative balances might be able to access these funds.
So it's going to relieve families.
It's going to relieve
now.
families.
Okay, of current debt.
Of current, yes. You're welcome.
We vote.
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next up, we have the August 8th, 2025 policy review minutes.
The minutes are there for your information.
There's a jump from 66 to 80.
Oh, page 83, sorry. Page 83.
The motion to approve.
Yes, so moved.
Thank you.
I'll second. Thanks, Ed.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the minutes, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. And then we have the first and final reading. Parental rights, school lunch program meal charge, unauthorized communication devices, and bullying and cyberbullying, pupil safety and violence prevention policies.
Do you want to speak to how policy goes through, what first and final means in this case for
Why don't we go through it? We can do that offline about how policy, because there's a lot of pieces to that too. If you
just the idea that we're acting outside the normal process, you know what I mean?
Yeah, usually you get the first reading and then you might approve that, goes back to policy for final tweaking, and then it comes for usually the second and final reading the second time. We get some thing, am I correct in that?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we get some things that come up. So these were changed mainly because of legislative changes this past year. So it's kind of boilerplate and they get reviewed by our council. And so that's why we're bringing them as a first and final reading.
Largely,
Which is
we must have some policy that conforms with the law.
Required.
And this is the policy committee's attempt or actions that are
bringing us a policy that conforms to the law that requires it. So given that, we don't really have very much leeway to say no, and there's only one opportunity to vote on it.
Because part of the oath you took is to uphold the rules of the state of New Hampshire.
Makes sense. Thank you for that.
And that's which specific policy letters are we talking about of the 4 that are listed or that were provided?
A is based on new legislation. JICA is also based on new legislation. The EFAA is, that is not legislation, but we'd like to, it's regarding if there is a $5 or less minimum that it allows the school district. And we'd like to be able to put that in our upcoming handbooks. So we're looking to have that updated. Bullying and cyberbullying. So part of, again, I bring Megan Glenn in, our team to work with the administrator. I have her always try to have her look at policies that are very much around student matters, such as the bullying one. And so she had some edits that she had suggested.
Right.
Again, and that is one that we would like to get in our handbooks.
Okay.
Perhaps I missed.
And you had said that there are some here that we're only going to get one bite at the apple for all the restrictive reasons. You know, they're very prescriptive at the state level. Which 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of those are those? So one or so Alpha Bravo, the Parental Bill of Rights, that's pretty prescriptive. I'm imagining that's one of them.
And the communications.
That's right.
Communication devices. Juliet.
I don't follow it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
May I just offer, I did part of the JICJ, unauthorized communication devices. The law does require getting parental input in the policy. And so I did reach out to the PTO and ask for new feedback. The only feedback received was relative to concern that kids wouldn't have access to their cell phones at the end of the day. The way that it's written policy, they certainly can't access it at the end of the day, but it'll be an opportunity that maybe we need to just more clearly state that when we're sharing that with families so that they understand if your child goes to knitting club after school, the advisor for the knitting club is probably going to say you're not going to have your phone out because we're knitting, but as soon as the activity ends, students can certainly use their phone to contact their family.
Good.
Mary, the only other question that I had on that one was it doesn't seem to, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm nitpicking, but it doesn't seem to address students departing early. It says specifically until the dismissal bell. So if student Ed Twaddell is leaving early for a medical appointment and is texting his mom, who's supposed to be out, Mom, I'm on my way out to get picked up to go to the doctor, how is that addressed?
Twaddell should go to the office, and the office can help call the parent. The student can use the phone in the office. If they're they're being dismissed, the parent is generally coming in to dismiss them.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, once they get in their car and they're pulling away with their parent, what they do with their phone will be up to their parents. But,
right. But retrieving my phone out of my locker should not be something that's going to.
I mean, if a kid is waiting in the office to be picked up to go to the dentist, they're exiting.
Right. Okay.
Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Is that for all of these or just that one specific?
All 4 of them.
Nay. I have, so my additional questions are have we synced Alpha Bravo, the Parental Bill of Rights, with the discussion of specifically the video voice recording that requires parental written consent? Have we synchronized that with the other policies that discuss to include the cyberbullying and bullying policy letter, recording voice and video on buses. How are we obtaining parental permission to do that and throughout the footprint of the school, if we assuming that we have security cameras throughout the school? How is that being addressed?
I would want to get a legal opinion regarding your question.
Yeah.
Because I surveillance and, which number are you looking at, Ed, please?
So I believe it's paragraph Alpha A16 in policy letter Alpha Bravo, Parental Bill of Rights.
So the discipline policies, yes, and procedures, so those are part of our student handbook, so those are communicated. And what
But
was,
the Parental Bill of Rights, as I understand it, and if I'm in error, please tell me, but it seems to me that it says very specifically in there that written parental consent is required before any filming or recording of voice is done, without exception. And it's very clear that that includes security surveillance of the facilities and talks about the buses in there as well. Am I misreading that? I'm not against doing it. I'm just saying, how are we going to get that parental consent and that written consent? Has that parental bill of rights been synchronized with those other policy letters?
my interpretation from training is different than what I'm hearing you say. That's our attorney. However, we have to do the parental bill of rights. So
Right.
something else, I interpreted it differently, and I would want to go back and confirm.
So can you'll
Yeah.
get the answer to that?
That's
Great.
fine. Like I'm just asking because if I'm asking, somebody else is going to ask at some point too.
All good, Ed. All right. So, close public comment. Before we do, is there any comment electronically that we can detect?
I still have my one issue, Charlie.
I know. I'm
I-
just closing public comment.
I don't have any. I'm monitoring it.
Okay, there's nobody here. So I am closing public comment at 6:42. All right, so I'll take other business now before we go back into non-public. Ed, you have the floor if you'd like it.
So hey, what was it? The June 24th meeting. I was frankly incensed, but we'll leave it at that. And it is my opinion that in his absence, this board owes Mr. Jones an apology, given that Mr. Billings spoke from his position as the vice chair, representing all of us. And it's my opinion that, well, hey, it's already on the record from the 24 June meeting that telling somebody to, quote, grow a pair is not acceptable language with which to address those folks whom we serve and those parents whose children we're trying to do our best to take care of. So thus my motion is that this board extend a formal written and public apology to Mr. Jones for that comment in light of the fact that we cannot ask Mr. Billings, who has resigned from the board, to do so.
Anybody, that was recorded, right?
It was not. It was meetings scheduled really to do the work around the plumbing.
It was in, remember, it was in a conference.
I was
Yeah.
remote, I was on the phone, so I don't, that's
Yeah.
why I know.
It was in that little conference room. Nice.
Because I just don't recall that quote being that quote personally, but I was on the phone.
I will say for the record, that's not what I heard either. I heard something slightly different than that.
Well, regardless, Mr. Quadell has made a motion for this board to send an apology to the individual who's in. Is there a second?
Is there like I want more information. Like, is this process around this? Like, how did this? I think I'm just kind of unsure of this since this is not being brought to us by the individual themselves. Like, that would be to me different.
I think that and I have discussed this with Charlie over the phone before bringing it to you. So this should not be a surprise to the chairman. But to be clear, I think that the general tone nationwide of our public discourse is abysmal. And it is absolutely beyond frustrating to me. Frankly, I spoke with Mark as well, and he said, yes, I did say that, and I will apologize to him. And then he resigned. So, like, what you heard, like, I'll tell you what Bruce heard. Bruce Jones heard that man just told me in a public session to grow a pair. That's unconscionable to me as public representatives, as public servants. We don't talk to our constituents like that. We certainly don't speak like that in a public session, whether it's being recorded or not. And thus, I'm kind of frustrated that we're not willing to put that on record, going back to the discussion of the minutes either. Be that as it may, that motion has failed. However, like, I find it really interesting that people aren't willing to step up and say, yeah, that's what got said, and we should issue an apology, because at the end of the day, it doesn't cost us anything and might build us a little bit of goodwill with the public.
Well, we have a motion. Is there a second, or do you have further questions or clarifications?
I just wish I could think about it before like doing something. And I haven't. Like I said, I think I would feel differently if it was a conversation with the individual themselves. Like right now, I'm kind of personally having to rely, as much as I very much respect you, Ed, like this is kind of hearsay of this individual's conversation with you and your recollection and what their recollection is, which from what I understand was a very heated in-person meeting. Like there was a lot of tension in that and the feelings in that, and that makes it hard. Like I wish we could go back and review these things, but I would hope that Mark would have done the apology.
I hope so too, and that's why I called him and asked him to do so, and he agreed to do so, and then he resigned.
But what I'm saying is that I feel that I can trust Mark would have done that, and has he not? Like, you know, like
if it's a personal apology, that's fine. But Mark was acting as the vice chair of this board. He was speaking from his public position. He represented the board. The board owes Mr. Jones an apology, my opinion.
I don't see it that way, Ed. I think when board members are talking, it doesn't matter whether we're chair, vice chair, or anything. We're speaking as individual board members during public meetings.
So we don't have a collective responsibility. Okay. If nobody's going to bring this to the floor, that's fine. Is that for a vote or second it for a vote? That's fine as well. That's the way the process goes, and I'm okay with that. But I point out, like, again, like this entire discussion is recorded and on the record, and it's really unfortunate that I feel that I need to point that out. Like that's unfortunate. The fact that we can't take collective responsibility for members of our leadership team.
So Ed, I brand new, I was not there in this discussion, but I agree with what you're saying in a general sense, not knowing much about the specifics, that I think, we've been talking about how we sort of conduct business within the schools, and us as a board, we owe respect to our constituents, the way you've talked about it. And I think some kind of statement in a general sense, and this might be too blunt of a statement for you, but maybe in a general sense, we owe sort of the public sort of a certain level of respect and discourse, right? And so some kind of public statement. I don't know about the specifics of this, and so maybe I'm in an easier position here. But I think in a general sense, I like the idea of saying, hey, what do we as a board and what does the leadership of this board owe to the public in terms of the level of discourse and the level of respect we show in the conversations that we have. So I don't know what that, I don't know tactically what that means. It's probably not specific enough for you, but I think in a general sense,
Abe, you've known me long enough to know that I am far more blunt than what you have suggested. So yeah. I appreciate your input.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
would also note that this probably sets a new standard. For the record, this sets a new standard for what is acceptable discourse. And we were talking earlier, or excuse me, y'all there were talking earlier about how some meetings got heated, 2-3 years ago, kind of thing, when the transgender issue was open for discussion. So this sets a new standard for that level for the level of public discourse. So again, the process is the process. I've made my motion. If no one wants to bring it forth for a vote, all is well. That's fine. Just understand that's what you're doing, is setting a new standard for the level of public discourse associated with this board.
I just want to point out that there's like a certain kind of, I'm not sure if it's quite threatening, but there's like a certain kind of something that's coming through by like the numerous reminders of our being recorded and things like that. My point is, I wish there was a specific communication from the individual themselves that we could kind of respond to, rather than it coming through you. Like, that's what I would prefer to have in this kind of emotion being put forward.
Don't we represent our constituents, all of them? Charlie, as you have said previously, we don't just represent those constituents of our town, but across all 3 towns. Isn't that our job, is to represent our constituents?
That is correct.
It's interesting that, Siobhan, you feel threatened by that, right? By having to be reminded that this is a matter of
I'm not.
record. However, I would also point out that, there's no one here. There is no one in the room right now from the public. There is no one online from the public. We have said over and over again, man, I wish the public would get involved. Maybe we shouldn't insult them when they show up and bring their concerns to the table.
That's very conflating. I feel that is very overgeneralizing something. And I think that for the most part, we do have very respectful discourse, despite there being very difficult topics throughout the years. And I've only been on, in this chair for almost 3, but I've been in the comments a couple of times. And I, again, kind of feel that you're not responding to me in a way that I agree with. I did not say that I feel threatened, and I was very clear that I was searching for a word, but there is certainly some reason that you've repeated that. And I apologize that I couldn't find the word specifically, but I do not feel threatened by you, number one, and I do not find that to be a threatening thing for you to say. I'm just pointing out that you've done it, and there certainly is some sort of you're utilizing it, and I think that you're knowingly utilizing that in some way. Just pointing that out.
Oh, I am absolutely knowingly utilizing that fact. I just find it really upsetting that we have to be reminded that our actions are a matter of public record and are subject to the scrutiny of the public and the judgment of the public thereof.
That's why there are elections. You know,
That is exactly why there are elections.
It's only locked on now. I was talking, but you were.
So in the interest of finishing this up, is there a second to Ed's motion?
I would want to have the person themselves tell me or us, like, I felt insulted. Like, that's a very subjective word. I don't think that that is an objective word. I am more than happy to offer an apology to the individual in person. I don't feel comfortable with this kind of triangulation personally.
So again, we're on Ed's motion. That's not a second. Okay.
Acknowledged.
All right. Motion fails.
So be it.
Pardon?
So be it.
So upcoming meetings, we have our next meeting is Tuesday, September 9th. Again, the 5:30 non-public and then the 6 o'clock public session. Is there any other business to come before the board? So before we adjourn, we need to go back into non-public pursuant to
Part C, 91, dash A, colon 3, Roman numeral 2C, matters which if discussed in public would likely person other than a member of this board unless such a person requests an open meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? Or is there a motion?
Moved in.
Second. Okay, great.
So now
Oh.
voting to go back into non-public.
Yes.
Siobhan?
Yep.
I say yes.
Yes.
Ed?
And we're gonna need,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah. We'll need to open the other link because this one's being recorded.
I don't know
And
that
I don't have access
Mark,
to it.
Mark Parsons, excuse me, is not here, and I don't know, can we call you on the phone instead?
Yep. I'll call Charlie right now. Let's hold the line until or hold this line until I dial.
6:57. Ed, can you hear?
Yep. Dropping off now.
Thank you.